Hello, hello, my friends. I feel a little bit late to this party. I had family in town over the weekend, and I mentioned to you guys last week that I wasn't going to have any videos go up due to that fact. Totally enjoyed the time that I had with my sister and my nephews. But while they were here, something showed up on my doorstep. Yes, it is my February Caramel Sundays restock haul. And so in this video, I am going to be sharing with you guys what I purchased. Now, if you caught my wish list video, I was on the fence about what candles I wanted to get in terms of the size of the vessels. Caramel Sundays did have a new vessel size launch this last go around. You guys might be a little bit surprised by what I ended up hauling, or maybe not. But anyways, this is going to be a fun one. Honestly, you guys, because I was so busy over the weekend, I haven't even been able to catch up yet on all of my friends here on YouTube, their restocks. I've seen a couple, but it looks like people were able to get some good things, but I still have quite a few people that I need to catch up on. And this is always just a fun video to share with you guys. So if you like this one, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. As always, everything that I am talking about today, I will have timestamps with the items in the description box down below. So let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get on into this haul. First and foremost, I wanted to start with the non-candle items that I purchased. If you guys saw my wish list video or pretty much any of my Caramel Sundays videos, you guys know I'm a huge fan of their laundry soap, particularly in the fragrance Plain Jane. Now, I feel like they haven't offered this in quite a few months, so I made sure to try to get my hands on two of these. I went back and forth. Do I need two or three? I went ahead and just did two. It does look like they will be restocking this again in their March 8th restock. I love this fragrance, you guys. A lot of other people now know that this is very similar to the Tyler Candle Co., their Diva Wash. But again, this is a clean alternative. Now, I have always said that I have a family of 5. So for me, as much as I would love to be able to wash all of my laundry in this fragrance, personally, I will tell you guys, my clothing, I actually prefer to have unscented laundry detergent just because I really like my body, like whatever I've used for my personal body fragrance for that day to really shine. But when it comes to my sheets and towels, I love this Plain Jane fragrance. I actually washed everything up yesterday. My sister did go home on Saturday evening. And so yesterday was my house cleaning day, and I was washing all of my sheets and towels in this. And it was so funny. I was like, oh man, I've missed this fragrance so much. So I did go ahead and purchase 2 of these. And then to kind of go along with that, I did purchase one of the fabric enhancer sprays in the same fragrance, the Plain Jane. Now, a lot of people may notice that this is about half the size of their previous fabric enhancer sprays. They said that that was due mainly to, I think that it was resourcing the materials that they need. It just became a lot easier to get their hands on the 8 fluid ounces as opposed to the 16 ounce. I call it vessels, but the packaging. So there was a little bit of a price decrease. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I don't typically use fabric sprays. I'm not big on them. I don't have any dogs or lingering like pet odors in my home, which is what I usually think of this for. However, I have found a new use for this. I actually really like spraying this on our mattresses and pillows while I am cleaning the sheets and then pairing it with the Plain Jane. And I feel like it's just such a nice experience when I get into my bed. So I did go ahead and get one of these. I don't think that this fragrance is returning in the March 8th. I think that there's a pistachio marshmallow one that I do have my eye on. So we will see about that. So those are the 2 non-candle items that I picked up. I've got a little bit of an itch on my nose. I swear, every time I sit down to film, my nose starts itching and I don't know what it is. Okay, let's go ahead. I think I'm going to go ahead and start out with the big candles that I purchased this go around. And this always makes me so nervous with this setup because I do not want any of them to drop. We all know what happened to my perfect Christmas a couple of months ago. All right, you guys, so I only ended up purchasing one of the new 5-wick vessels, and I totally have a reason for it, but can you guess? Can you just guess which fragrance I ended up getting? Drum roll, please. No shocker here. My beloved Oatmilk and Pistachio, and you can see that I've actually already burned this twice. This was the first one that I set out to burn because you guys know I love this fragrance. The scent notes on here are warm vanilla oat milk, creamy pistachio, almond, brown sugar, and crumbled cinnamon. This is one of my top 10 caramel sundaes fragrances of all time. I love this one for its versatility. You get that pistachio note that they are known for, but there's a creaminess from the oat milk, slight touch of spice in here. I am going to tell you guys, I feel like this year's version has got a little bit more spice in it than last year's, which I'm not mad about. I think spice elements mixed with like something that is normally like a creamy or lactonic base sometimes helps with the overall fragrance profile in terms of it being a little bit more noticeable. And it's still done very, very well. I am not upset at all about this. Now, the reason why I only ended up getting one of these, you guys, I'm going to put it down because it's kind of heavy. You can see how big it is. It's like big next to my head here. The reason why I only got one of those is because when I got to thinking about it, in my home setup, I typically like to burn fragrances in this open concept area, either on my quilt rack on the wall or over here on kind of like a credenza that I have near the window. However, neither one of those spaces are very conducive to being able to, I would say, house a candle of this size. I could do it on the credenza, but it would involve me having to basically redecorate what I already have over there. And truthfully, I already like what I have, so I don't want to have to redo that. So for me, this large 5-wick finds its home on my dining room table, which it looks beautiful there, right, for display purposes. But I am going to tell you, I don't know if you guys have this in your home. In my house, there are certain areas, and my kitchen is one of them, that no matter what candle I burn in there, and I know this to be a fact because I have had other candles that are powerhouses when I burn them out here, when I burn them in a bedroom. If I stick them on the table in my kitchen, it will not throw outside of the kitchen. There's something about the way that my kitchen is laid out. I think it's because there's a bay window there where the dining room table sits. And then there's kind of, I'm looking at it here, there's kind of like some indentations when it goes from the open concept to the more like lower ceilings of the kitchen. Just something about that, it's a fragrance dead zone, I would say. So for me, I thought, okay, I love this fragrance. I love the look of it. But realistically, for me, 5 wicks, they can only stay on the dining room table. The safest place for me to burn them in is the dining room table. I can also burn them on my stand in my master bedroom. But I thought, you know what? I only really need to have one 5-wick in my home at a time. And so I went ahead and went with Oatmilk and Pistachio because I know that it is such a versatile fragrance. In fact, I will tell you what I am planning to pair it with from the 2 wicks that I got. But yeah, you guys, that's why I ended up only going with one of those. However, we all know how much I love that fragrance. So I got it in a 4-wick as well. I couldn't resist, you guys. I love the 5-wick. I love the 4-wick. I did go in with this as one of my #1 priorities to get because I knew that it was going to be in high demand. I think that there's one other candle that was in higher demand than this one, but this was pretty much high up there, and I know that it sold out rather quickly. So I used my strategy, multiple orders, right? Yeah, but this is absolutely delicious. It's just as good as I remember. Now, talking about another 4-wick candle that I ended up getting. Now, this is one, truthfully, you guys, that I see myself not burning this time of year. This is the fragrance Wishing for Winter. This is one that I kind of went back and forth on, but I was like, you know what? It was on my wish list for January, and then they forgot to pour it. And then it was coming back in the 4-wick. So the fragrance notes on Wishing for Winter are sugared pomegranate, red berries, oranges, balsam fir, clove, vetiver, garland greens. Now, this is definitely a winter fragrance. I was really intrigued by it because the fragrance notes, I thought maybe will this be in line somewhat with Nest Holiday. It is not. It's not that fragrance at all. So if you were curious about this one, I know that I believe that I saw this on the Restock wish list for March 8th as well. This is a fragrance that I like though. My nose does detect the sweet, there's a sweet fruity element of a pomegranate with that cranberry note that they are very well known for. I get some greens in there. Truthfully, you guys, I actually am pretty excited to set this one aside and start burning it in November. This is going to be a beautiful fall to fall to Christmas time type of fragrance. I always talk about fragrances like this. I call them my bookends. They are definitely November and January scents where they either help me get ready for or come out of the holiday season. Yeah, and this one's very pretty. You get, yeah, the tree note is not like super, super prominent in here. To my nose on cold here, and again, fragrances transform when you're burning them. I definitely get the sugared pomegranate and like red berries. The orange is not super prominent. I definitely get the sweetness of the fruit the most on here, but also this is very much like a winter fruit. This is not a summertime, springtime type of fruity scent. I do like this. Now, I have mentioned this before in several other videos, but for those of you who maybe are new to my channel or you haven't caught this, I personally don't like to store my 4 Wicks in the boxes. Caramel Sundays does send boxes for you to store these in. I personally don't like that. I like to be able to see everything. And so what I have done, another one of you guys recommended this, the Pyrex 7201 lids that you can buy like a 4-pack on Amazon for, I think it's around $13. They fit perfectly on these vessels. Now, the only thing that I am going to caution you, buy those if you are storing these 4 Wicks. I know that John and Sierra have said that in the March restock, due to some glass supply issues, the 4 Wicks are going to be a little bit narrower. They're going to be the same size as the, if you got those specialty gold jars during their holiday releases, particularly if you got the fragrance The Holiday, or they also offered it in Bakery on Main. They're a little bit taller, but they're a little bit narrower in terms of the diameter. So I would only recommend the 7201 lids for this size vessel if you have any of these in your stash. I do have a couple more of those on their way to me right now because that particularly is a fragrance that I'm going to set aside. Now, let's go ahead and talk about one that I knew that I wanted in a larger size. This is a repeat purchase for me. And you guys know on my channel, I don't do a ton of repeat purchases, mainly because most of my candle budget I do allocate towards trying new things, not only because I'm somebody who's typically interested in new stuff, but I also know with my channel, I know a lot of you guys are interested in new things. And that's something that I'll touch on a little bit at the end of this video. But yeah, if I repurchase a fragrance, you guys know that I really, really love it. And this is one that made the cut. Obviously, Oatmilk and Pistachio. And we know Blueberry Lemon Crumble. I did have this fragrance last year. Fragrance notes on this one are, it looks like lemons, crumble cake, blueberry, milk, butter, and vanilla. Now, a lot of people say like, oh, I was one of them. On burn, this reminds me of Trick cereal, but it's not. I think a lot of people mistook that meaning like that this would smell really artificial and cheap. It doesn't. This is a very different fragrance than their Milk and Fruit Loops, by the way. Milk and Fruit Loops to me bears a lot of similarities to Kringle Candle's Lemon Sugar Marshmallow. If you happen to like that one, it's a more vibrant lemon, like bright lemon forward type of fragrance with some of those other fruity elements in it. Whereas this to me is more, the lemon in here is more subdued. It's more like gourmand creamy bakery. And you get the blueberry note in here. But again, the blueberry is not as sharp. I don't want to say sharp, but it's not as strong and potent as, say, their Double Dip Danish, which is very, very blueberry forward. It's a beautiful combination. And then when this one is burning, and I can smell it a little bit on cold, you get that crumb cake type of aspect in here. This is such a beautiful fragrance. I knew that I wanted it. Again, I was like, I want to be able to enjoy this one out here in my open concept. So I did get it in the 4 Wick. This was available in the 5 Wick, but I did go ahead and get it in this vessel. And the other thing that you're going to see, you might see the difference here. You can see the difference. Maybe, I don't know if you can see it on camera there. This one, the wax is a little bit like yellower. So I think that has something to do with the fragrance oils. But I am going to tell you guys, these came in like I said, over the weekend while my family was here, and my nephews are 7 and 5, and they are all boy. So I made sure that after I unboxed these, I went and put them on my dresser in my bedroom because I didn't want them to get broken. Because that's how it is. Like, I don't want to completely put them away if I know that I need to film, but I just wanted them to be out of the way, right? So I put these on my dresser. You guys, every time I walked into my bedroom, this is what I smelled for like days. And you can see I haven't lit it yet. This is very strong on cold. It was strong in a 2 Wick last year, so I am really excited to have that one back in my collection. Need to take a little sip of water here because my throat gets a little bit dry talking all this dry winter air. It's funny, I'm actually back in a sweater today. Our weather here has been in like the 70s, almost 80s over the last 2 weeks. But this week we are actually dealing with some clouder, cooler weather, maybe some rainy weather. I'm not mad at it. I actually am burning a lot of like cozy types of candles. It's giving me a chance to do that. But anyways, just is what it is here, the weather. All right, so those are the only large vessels that I ended up purchasing. Let's go ahead and talk about the 2 wicks that I ended up purchasing. This is the fragrance Lemon Pound Cake. We have fragrance notes of lemon, butter, cake, vanilla glaze, lemon zest, sugar, and butter extract. I know that this one has been around for a while. This is one that I decided to get in a 2-wick, mainly because, like I said, I've burned lemon sugar marshmallow earlier this year. I still have milk and Fruit Loops. I know that Crumble has a lemon gourmand candle coming. By the way, you guys, that is being sent to me in PR. I should have a video up on that this weekend, hopefully. I don't have a tracking number yet for when that PR should be here, but I will share my thoughts with you on that. But regardless, you guys, I knew that there's always lemon gourmands from a lot of other brands right now. This is the season for lemon gourmands. And you guys know, I love me a good lemon gourmand. This to me is really nice. Is it anything earth-shattering, anything that like I've never ever smelled before? No. Is it still good? Yes. I do see that this is more of like a lemon pound cake, which part of me, I'm not sure if I love lemon pound cake. I think if you were to ask me like what my favorite lemon gourmand fragrance is, for a long time it was Kringle's lemon sugar marshmallow. It's in a little bit different category, but if you are wanting something that's a little bit more lemon cake type of fragrance, there's a little bit more airiness and lightness to it, I would definitely steer you towards Homeworks' Limoncello Cupcake. I really, really like that fragrance. I think that is probably my favorite lemon gourmand. That just, it operates kind of like a little black dress. It seems to go well with a lot of other fragrances. This has a density to it, which you would expect from a pound cake. The lemon is noticeable in here. It's not overly sugary sweet. I like this. But I'm not sure that it's a love for me. But yeah, I am glad that I have it in my collection to go ahead and try. Now, here's the one that I kept going back and forth. Do I want this in a 2-wick? Do I want it in a 4-wick? Truthfully, you guys, smelling it in a 2-wick, I'm like, I should have gotten it in a 4-wick. But honestly, I was trying to be responsible. You guys know that there's a lot of new in my collection right now. And again, I think I'm going to talk about that maybe more so in my Friday 5 video coming up later on this week. But with there being so much newness in my collection and me trying not to get overwhelmed by how many candles I have to burn, I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and just kind of size things down a little bit. So this is the fragrance, the Family Recipe. Now this is returning in their March 8th restock, as is Oatmilk and Pistachio. I think the Wishing for Winter is, and then yeah, this one and one other one that I got my hands on. So the Family Recipe has fragrance notes of cinnamon sugar, warm sweet potatoes, baked pecans, melted marshmallows, pie crust, and pistachio. You guys, this is so good. I know a lot of people have been raving about this one. I am actually planning to light this up after I get done filming this video because the weather just seems really perfect for this. This is not really something that I would burn on like a bright sunny day. That's just me personally. This is definitely more, I feel like this is more of like a fall type of fragrance. There's warmth to it. Now, I get some of that pistachio note. I know a lot of people have been saying, like, I smell the pistachio right away. I wouldn't say that pistachio is the first note I get. I get a nuttiness, but I get some of that, like, cinnamon sugar. I think that that's what my nose is picking up on first. And then there's a little bit of that, you know, it's funny, like, smelling the lid and smelling the wax is sometimes different. Yeah, I get the sweetness of a sweet potato in there. There's kind of a vegetal quality to it, but it's definitely sweet potato. It's not carrot. It's not any, yeah, it's really, really well done. It's sweet more than it is savory. This is one that I'm very, very intrigued about, and I am actually planning, when I light this up today, I'm planning to burn this with oat milk and pistachio. For whatever reason, I just have a sneaking suspicion that those two are going to complement each other really, really well. I will make sure to do a post-burn review on this one for you guys prior to the next restock, because I do know that this one is going to be restocking. I believe it's only restocking in the 2-wick. I'm not sure if it's coming in the 4-wick. You can check out Caramel Sunday's Instagram page if if you think that that's if you think that that might be something you're interested in. Make sure you check with them, follow them, because sometimes if there's some updates as to what they will be offering, they update their followers there. But family recipe, I did pick up in a 2-wick. Now I will say that this is one that I initially had in a 4-wick. I went back and forth. I was like, you know what? Again, I haven't tried it before. Let's go ahead and start small. I know that this is one that they brought back from last year. This is the Fragrance Spring Market. I know my friend McKenna really loves this fragrance. The notes are lemon, lime, tangerines, green apples, sugar, violet, peach, and musk. And I like this, you guys. This is it's very fruity, but it's grounded in a floral element, but it doesn't come across overly floral and green. So if you're somebody who is averse to floral notes, don't let that scare you. I know that the picture for the marketing on this kind of has like a bike with like a little like thing of flowers. This to me is more like it's apple dominant, but it's not your fall time apple. I don't normally think of springtime as being a time where I would burn apple fragrances, but this is nice. This is definitely like a bright, maybe more of like a Granny Smith apple. It's definitely like a green apple. It's not your not like your fall time where like you got cinnamon and baked apple goods. This is definitely a bright, fresh apple. You get some brightness as well with the other citrus notes in here. I will tell you guys, it's so funny. I told you I had these sitting on my dresser. I caught Cody numerous times picking up these candles and sniffing them, and he kept going back to this one. He says, he goes, that one smells so good. He said, this one's his favorite. So I'm usually pretty good about getting B-roll of all of my candles before I start burning them, but for whatever reason, I was good about remembering to take it before the oat milk and pistachio the other day when it came in, because I knew I wanted to light that one right away. But I had a little bit of a moment of brain fog. I actually just filmed the B-roll today for the rest of the collection that I ordered. I filmed those today, and of course, I burned this one last night. So this has one burn on it. I did burn this in my bedroom last night. Really, really liked it. I only burned it for like 2 hours, and you guys know that I never really give a full synopsis on a fragrance on the first burn. Every candle brand I kind of give a mulligan to, but I had good performance out of this. I wouldn't say it was as strong as I was expecting it to be, but again, first burn. So anyways, really, really like this spring market. I think that I'm going to pair, I had it burning yesterday with Homeworks' Tangerine Palazzo. Really, really nice, bright, like zesty type of vibe going on in my home. And last but certainly not least, I know you guys are going to be thinking, did she get it? Did she get the candle that everybody is raving about? I know everybody's talking about the family recipe, but the other one that everybody is talking about from this last restock, yes, I did get my hands on it. I didn't buy it in a 5-wick, you guys. I went small this time. Honey Badger, fragrance notes of ripe bananas, honey butter, juicy pineapple, pecan, and vanilla. Now, funny thing is, you guys, I ended up buying 2 of these. I put 2 in my cart. I paid for 2 of them. When my order got in, there was only 1. So I immediately messaged Caramel Sundays and I said, hey, I'm missing one of my honey badgers. They were really sweet. I think that because they are pouring more, because this is coming back in the March restock, as well as that they're not only going to have it in this format, I believe that they will have it in the 4-wick 40 ounce as well as the 5-wick 75 ounce. Pretty sure that they're offering it in all 3 formats. She had offered, she said, hey, when we pour more, would you like me to send it to you? And I actually just told her, I said, actually, truthfully, if it's easier for you, just go ahead and refund and store credit, because I know I'm going to want more. So don't worry about it. And so that is what they did. So just know that, you guys, if ever anything is missing from your order or whatnot, contact them. They're great about trying to make it right with you guys. But yeah, I was a little bit bummed because when I smelled this, I was like, oh, this is so good. Now, it's funny what everybody says they pick up on first. I am going to tell you guys, My nose detects the pineapple. That's what my nose gets the most on cold. Now, I've heard from some people as they've started burning this that that pecan note really starts to come out. I get a tiny little bit of banana in here, but this is not a banana forward fragrance. Say like their banana boat scent. I know that there's a banana, like a banana strudel type of scent. I think it's called Monkey Business that they are bringing out next month. You better believe that's on my wish list. I love banana fragrances. But I purchased this hoping that this would kind of fill the void for Bath and Body Works Hummingbird Tea Cake. If you're new to my channel, I have made a conscious effort to try to prioritize burning 100% soy wax candles. I do still have a couple of Homeworks candles in my collection just because I love those fragrances and I haven't found those same scents in soy wax brands, not yet at least. But for the most part, I'm trying to go with soy wax. And so I thought that this might be a good alternative. Is this Bath and Body Works Hummingbird Tea Cake? No, it's not. Hummingbird Tea Cake has their spice cake note, which I think that they do very, very well. I also noticed that same note in their, is it their carrot cake scent? They do that so well, but there is no spice cake note in here. So if you're wanting some comparisons, on my opinion, that's what I would say. Do I still love this, and do I think that it's going to serve the same purpose that Hummingbird Tea Cake did for me? Yes, because I really like to I loved burning Hummingbird Tea Cake with Kringle Candles banana bread, which was also repackaged as warm banana loaf last fall in those like kind of like economical 3 wicks. And then I also like burning it with a now retired fragrance from them called Fruit and Flakes. That's like one of my favorite trios. So I'm really excited to get to burning this one. I already know on Cold Snip, I mean, unless something really, really changes, I do have my eye on getting more of this. And that is one of the things that I am really glad that Caramel Sundays took notice of after this restock, is that there were some fragrances. I know Honey Badger sold out. I think Honey Badger was the first one to go. That one sold out really quickly. No surprise. I think everybody was anticipating that that one was going to be the first to go. Oatmilk and Pistachio. But it looks like the fragrances that sold out really, really quickly, I'm really glad that they took notice and went ahead and said, hey, you know what, we're going to go ahead and offer them the next time around. And that was great because truthfully, I think they would say this too. John and Sierra would probably say this too. Every time they have a new season of fragrances launching, that restock tends to be the wildest, right? It's the time where it's the hardest to get your hands on things. Truthfully, last year when I had first started shopping with them, I think it was last January or February, it was one of the ones where they launched ice cream sandwiches. I missed out on that the very first time that I tried to get it, and it did so well that they brought it back, and then I was able to get my hands on it the next go around. So I'm hoping that if you missed out on Honey Badger, Oatmilk and Pistachio, the family recipe, if you missed out on those, maybe you'll be able to get your hands on them this go around, because now they know, they poured a lot. They poured quite a bit. But you guys always keep in mind, Caramel Sundays has over 50,000 followers over on Instagram. Plus, we talk about them here on YouTube. So there's only so much that they can make, right? They are a small business. They are, they are family owned and operated. Everybody who works there, I think they might hire one outside person who's not family. But it's just the business model that works for them. They've been around for 5 years, and it's not for everybody. It's totally fine if it's not for you. I personally really like shopping with them. And like I've said, there's a strategy to shopping. You've got to be very, very quick. You've got to know what you want. You've got to have priority to what you're purchasing. I oftentimes make multiple orders. Again, the year that I missed out, or the time that I missed out on ice cream sandwiches, it was because I was trying to do one order at once and things jumped from my cart. So I quickly learned after that, like, oh, you've got to have a strategy to this. You've got to prioritize. You've got to make multiple orders. The other thing too that I wanted to address, because I know that there were some things about the shipping. It's funny, you guys, I didn't even get a shipping label until Monday evening. Wednesday, I didn't hear anything about my shipping status for all day Tuesday, and the original shipping label I think said USPS. Wednesday morning, I got an update to my label, and it said that my order would be here on Wednesday, February 18th. And I was kind of like, oh, okay, bummer. But also, I understand they're on the East Coast. I'm here in Arizona. And then Thursday morning, I woke up and they said, oh, your order's out for delivery. And I was like, what? And it came via UPS. So I don't know exactly what was going on with that. The thing that I will tell you, and they have said this over on their Instagram as well, their system, for whatever reason, if you place multiple orders, it tends to they tend to print those out first to package those first. So again, that's just the way that their software and computer system, I don't know if it's through Shop Pay, that's how things are organized. That's the thing that I think a lot of people need to understand, is that this is not like, oh, we're so picking and selecting. Like, it is, everything is handled by computer, and it just happens to be the way that the computer system kicks things out, and that's the order in which things get fulfilled. So hopefully you guys are all getting your orders, or you have gotten your orders. Let me know in the comments section if you purchased any of these, if you got your hands on them, which one is your favorite. I will say my favorite, obviously, other than the oat milk and pistachio, I am going to tell you Honey Badger is probably my favorite. Paisley, who you guys met in my gift gala haul, she said Honey Badger and the Family Recipe are her favorites, and then Cody's favorite is Spring Market. So lots of great fragrances here. And the last thing that I just wanted to say, I'm going to talk about this in my Friday video, just talking about like a lot of hauls and stuff are coming down the pipeline for various reasons here with my channel. But the other thing that I just did want to say here, you guys, is to always keep in mind when you are watching my channel, if you're watching other creators, all of us creators, we all kind of have a little bit of like, I don't want to say like our niche, but we all have things that like maybe we are prioritizing spending our candle budgets on. So for me personally, I like to try to bring new stuff to you guys, which is why I said earlier in the video, I don't tend to repurchase a lot of candles, even though I may really, really enjoy them, because I know part of the role of my channel is that I am wanting to bring new stuff to you. So I have to allocate a lot of my candle budget towards new things that interest me, while also feeling like they might be of interest to you. So that is my priority. That's not every creator. Some creators, they are like, hey, I just want to burn what I like and share with you guys, and I'm not going to focus on the new. Some are maybe a little bit more, they gravitate more towards like what's on sale, which I love. I always love a good sale, right? Who doesn't? But I will tell you guys that for me personally, my channel is a little bit of like a self-sustaining monster at this point. I call it a monster. You know, whatever I make from affiliate deals, whatever I make from my Google AdSense, I put in a little pot, and that is my candle budget. I am a stay-at-home mom. Cody and I have built a lifestyle around where our bills are paid and most things are done based off of his income. I've been a stay-at-home mom for almost 17 years. And I'm not saying that to be braggadocious. I'm just saying that as like, these are the facts. Peeling back the curtain, some of the sacrifices we've made, you guys, we live in what most people would consider to be a starter home. It's a pretty small home for 5 people to live in. We also drive older vehicles, so we don't have car payments. We've made some choices in our time together in the 20 years that we've been married that have, we've made some sacrifices that allow for us to have a little bit of expendable income. And again, I'm not saying that to rub it in anybody's faces, but like I said, my bills are paid. This is a fun hobby for me. It is a little bit of a self-sustaining animal at this point, my channel is. And so I do try to buy what I am interested in, share it with you guys, but also try to keep in mind that I'm trying to share with you guys what you might be interested in as well. But with all of that being said, you guys, please, please, please do not compare what you are able to purchase with what myself or maybe some other you know, candle content creators are able to purchase, or what they are purchasing, because we all have different priorities, and not even priorities, but maybe like I just want to say like different budgets, and that may you know, fluctuate over time. But please don't ever feel like you need to be like keeping up with what we're doing, you guys. Truthfully, if you really, really want things like peeling back the curtain, a lot of these channels, if they are monetized, if we are getting any kind of affiliate money, even though you guys, I'm going to tell you guys, I am not raking in the dough on this. Like, it's really not even as much as what people would make in a part-time job. It's a fun hobby for me. And like I said, it's kind of self-sustaining itself right now. But I will tell you guys that any creative outlet that you are seeing, whether that's here on YouTube, if it's on Instagram, if it's TikTok, any influencer across any niche, if it's candles, beauty, travel, gaming, I don't know, whatever it is, if there's a content creator that is has any kind of affiliate deals, has any kind of AdSense, anything like that, keep in mind that what they are showing you, Uncle Sam oftentimes considers to be business expenses. And there are perks to that. I'm not going to go into saying like what it should be or whatnot. I'm not here to argue the tax code. I'm just saying we are in a time of year right now where we're all getting ready to either pony up or get our money back from Uncle Sam. And just always keep in mind, you guys, that creators on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, when they are showing you new products, they are in a little bit of a different boat compared to what I would say the average consumer is. So always want to put that out there. Please do not feel like you need to be hauling and keeping up with everybody that you're seeing. I'm here to entertain you. I'm here to try to give you some knowledge. I'm here to try to help you sort out what you want to spend your money on. That really is my goal. I always say, please make sure that if you're being influenced by me, make sure our preferences are aligned in terms of fragrances, as far as wax formulas, and even maybe to some degree, budgetary things. Like, keep that in mind, you guys. And whether or not we are perfectly aligned, you're welcome here. I like having you here. Maybe just have me here for pure entertainment value. I don't care. But always just like to give that little bit of a disclosure there, because I know that it's just always good to have that little bit of a reminder. So, like I said, this was a fun video. Sorry for my little rabbit trail there at the end, but I'm always going to try to keep it real with you guys, and like to give you guys that reminder. I am already really excited for what I'm seeing on the March restock. Isn't that how they get us, right? We're so excited about what we bought, and while we're waiting for what we bought, we're like, oh, and I'm already starting to make my list for the next month. Like I said, Honey Badger family recipe. Honey Badger and the family recipe, I will make sure that I have post-burn reviews on for you guys prior to the March 8th restock, because I know that those are going to be already there. If you're interested in my thoughts on Oatmilk and Pistachio, I do already have a review on the 4-wick from last year up on my channel. Feel free to DM me if ever you guys want some opinions about how any other candles are burning. But like I said, we'll touch on this in the Friday 5. I've got a lot of new coming into my stash, and I'm trying to keep up with it all, but really I'm only one person, right? So that's why it's good to be subscribed to a variety of creators. All right, that is enough of my ramblings here for a Monday. I'm going to go ahead and end this video, try to get it edited and uploaded to share with all of you guys. Once again, I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.